Welcome back, Candy Catholics. Oh man, some of y'all are gonna cry and moan that I didn't have this up by Friday at 5:30, but I don't care. So the big thing is that we started talking about the Black Death, right? We started talking about the plague and its effects in Europe. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Now, where we left off in class, we were talking about reasons why the plague was as bad as it was, right? Reasons why it affected so many, the reasons why it was just such an extreme epidemic that swept across Europe and really, really shook things up leading into the late Middle Ages. So one of the big reasons why the plague was so bad is because that a famine actually preceded it, right? So a famine, just in case you didn't know, it's a period of extreme amounts of starvation, all right? So a lot of people in Europe were starving to death due to these climate shifts, right? So by 1300, Europeans were farming almost every piece of land they could find. Now, the thing about that, though, is that I wish that I had a temperature map on this thing, but around the high Middle Ages, right, from 1000 to 1300, you can write this down, from 1000 to 1300, climate was high, right? Temperatures were high. They were very, very impressively high. This led to a lot of good farming, very, very plentiful amounts of food, lots of people fat and happy. When people are fat and happy, they make babies, right? So the crazy thing about it is that, however, around 1310, all of a sudden, the climate's going to bottom out. And it's going to cause a lot of rainstorms, and it's going to cause a lot of snowstorms, and it was called a little ice age or a mini ice age. And in 1315 to 1317, there was just years and years and years of crop failures and dead crops and not being able to provide enough to feed the Europeans. So the thing about that, though, is that if you've now got this high population due to this good climate, that means that you don't have enough food to feed all these people. That means that a lot of people are going to end up starving to death. So the famine of 1315 and 1317, as many as 15% of the peasants in many English villages, this is just a rough estimate, died. Now, 15% of people dying from starvation, that's a very high number. Do you know how many people die of starvation in the United States? Little to none, all right? So anyway, now, one consequence of starvation and poverty, though, is an extreme susceptibility to disease. If you are not eating a regular diet, and if you are not staying on top of your game health-wise, then you are going to end up getting sick, right? So this caused an easier way for the plague to spread because people with no food means they are more susceptible to disease, means they're more likely to get sick, right? So anyway, let's keep on going. Anyway, now, a couple of things about the spread of the plague before we talk about the types of the plague. First and foremost, the plague, we believe, started in China. All right, so we believe it started in China and made its way to Europe via the island of Sicily on one particular merchant ship, right? So some of you are telling yourself, you're like, wait a minute, if it started in China, how did it get all the way over there? Because I've done my map quizzes really, really well, and I know that they're very far apart. The thing about it is that the Silk Road probably carried the plague with it. Now, the big thing about this is that all trade items, every boat during this time period, and every cart and every guy that was carrying some food product from China, probably had rats with them, right? Somewhere hiding along the way. They're vermin. I mean, they get everywhere. If you've been to New York City, I've seen a big fat honker on the subway tracks before. He was disgusting. Speaking of fat honkers, come here, baby. Rufio, come here, Peppy. What are you doing? Are you a baby? Are you baby? Are you a big fat honker rat? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, but reached Europe in 1347 via a merchant ship. Funny thing about this merchant ship, write this down somewhere, we believe that the merchant ship may have gotten it, or Patient Zero for Europe may have gotten it, because the Mongolians were throwing dead plague bodies at this city called Kaffa, K-A-F-A, and actually hucking it over the walls. And we believe when they were trying to escape, they probably got onto that boat and then carried the plague to Europe through Sicily. But by 1347 to 1348, southern Europe has been affected. It's 1 year. And then by 1350, all of Central Europe and Britain has been affected. You want to get up on the couch? Get up on the couch. I put the blanket down for you. Get up on the couch. Come here. You can get up on the couch. No big deal. So anyway, now this is a funny story about Kiev and Rus and why they didn't actually get the plague, but I'll explain that tomorrow. Get on the couch. Get on the couch. Start writing this down. There you go. Oh, he's a baby. Anyway, now that's a baby. Anyway, so how do you get the plague, right? Well, let's discuss the epidemiology of the plague and how it is spread through a population, right? First and foremost, before you write this down, right around here somewhere, or right around here somewhere, or right around here somewhere, I don't really care, all right? Write Yersinia pestis. Why? Go away. Like Yersinia. I'm just kidding. You're not that bad. Come here, Josie. Pestis. Come here, Yersinia pestis. Come here. She's not terrible. She's just not very smart. Anyway, now, so the main thing about it is Yersinia pestis comes in two forms, right? It comes in the bubonic form and in the pneumonic form. Now, the bubonic form, actually, you get from infected fleas, right? You get the pneumonic. Let me smell back of my head. You get the bubonic form from infected fleas. A flea would actually bite you and vomit the plague virus into you, right? So actually, like we've said this a bunch of times before, and I've told you about this. When you get bitten by a flea, they usually go like bleh, and they throw up into you because their saliva contains and their vomit contains an amount of anticoagulant, keeps your blood from clotting so they can feast off of you. Now, those fleas, though, were on rats, all right? And those rats were easily transportable all over Europe. So in a way, when you think about it, merchants and traders were the reasons why this happened. So a better economy in the High Middle Ages led to the spread of the plague. Ugh, it sucks that happens, right? So now the pneumonic plague, though, you actually get because you inhale droplets of blood that probably contain, droplets or blood or saliva that actually contain plague bacteria. And they're actually released when people or animals would actually cough. So if you're like, and it just goes everywhere. So that one was actually also used as a weapon because when they would throw these dead plague bodies at people, the Mongolians, they would just go, and they would just like spread everywhere. And there'd be like blood vapor in the air. And then they're like, and then that's how you got it, right? So anyway. Oh, nice. So we're going to watch a slow motion sneeze real quick.
How I got talked into
Check this out. This is like what pneumonic plague looks like. This is how much stuff comes out of your
so here comes
face when you sneeze. It's disgusting. Wait for it. Okay, that's a regular speed sneeze. He just sneezed. He's a little old man. He does his thing. Watch this nice. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. Ooh, that's not even the worst angle. Check this out. Wait. I'm going to fast forward. Some more. That's not even a good one either. That one's lame. Here we go. This one's the good one. This is how much stuff comes out of your face. No wonder the plague spread so quickly. Look at this! Oh, that's so gross. Wait for it. There's a big one coming. Oh, that's so nasty. Look at all that stuff. Gross. That's so gross. Anyway, now, so we're going to talk about how you got what the plague looked like a little bit later. But this is, don't write this down. Do not write this down. Do not write this down. All right? So anyway, no one in any history class is ever going to ask you what the symptoms of the plague are, right? Doofer, you don't want to hang out with me? Oh, he's going back to bed. Anyway, now, so you get swollen lymph glands, pneumonia, blood poisoning, bleeding out of your orifices. That's the really rough one, right? An orifice is every part of your body, and it just begins to like leak out blood. Lenticulation is actually where the black plague comes from because of the black spots that you would actually get all over you. I'll tell you what, save a little box somewhere. We'll talk about this tomorrow when we get into class. Monday when we get into class. But this is the gross stuff. So these pictures were actually taken in a plague outbreak, I believe in Vietnam, like in the 1970s after the Americans left that conflict. So this right here, that's a bulbous, right? That's one of your lymph nodes getting super infected from the plague virus, and they actually swell and fill with pus and all this other nasty stuff. And then this is the septicemic form of the plague, where actually your skin and your like fingertips and your skin cells begin to rot away. That's why it gets the name the Black Plague, right? Because of blood poisoning and septicism. Like, oh wait, let's go back. Look at that. Like that dude's hand is dying. That's so gross. Anyway, so really quickly though, let's talk about strange medical cures of the plague. And then we're going to wrap all this stuff up tomorrow, but we're going to stop here for today, okay? So, popular medical cures of the plague were nuts. All right, so anyway, doctors would oftentimes wear very strange costumes and like the big bird face mask because they would actually take in the beak, they would shove like herbs and spices down into the inside of it so they didn't have to smell all the bodies, right? So, bathing in human urine was a believed cure. Wearing excrement, which is poop, is a believed cure. Placing dead animals in your house was a believed cure. Wearing leeches, like leeching, was also believed to be a cure. Also, drinking molten gold and snorting or eating powdered emeralds was a believed cure. And burning incense to get rid of the smell. Now, did any of these work? Nope! They actually made it much, much, much worse. All right, so this is where we're going to stop, though, because these things kind of just describe the hysteria that was happening in Middle Ages Europe trying to respond to this terrible disease that was spreading all over the place, right? So, but we're going to stop there for now, and we're going to pick back up here tomorrow, and we don't have much more left to go, just a couple little slides, and I'll probably just tell you the effects of the plague, and then we're going to talk about the 100 Years' War, and then we're going to get into your test, and it's going to be bang, bang, bang of the drum. All right, so anyway, I hope y'all have a great week or evening or weekend, Camden Catholic. I will see y'all later.